Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This afternoon, we're joined by Phyllis Shimabukuro Geyser. She's going to give us an update on the Hawaii Department of Agriculture. But before we get into her introduction, I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for this session: Savor Brands, Bendig, Lind Insurance Services, and Downtown Coffee. Um, you can type your questions on the chat screen, and we'll address those with Phyllis. At the end of the session, there's an opportunity to donate to the HCA to help contribute to this webinar and future webinars, and also all of the webinar presentations. If you missed any of them, they are available on our website. I also want to take a moment to thank our website committee and for all of you for joining us. Phyllis Shimabukuro Geyser has been the chairperson of Hawaii Board of Agriculture since 2019 and oversees the Department of Agriculture in Hawaii. She served as the deputy to the chairperson from 2015 to 2019. Prior to her appointment, she was a third-generation manager of Mikilua Poultry Farm in Waianae, a farm founded by her grandfather in 1947. Welcome, Phyllis. How are you?
Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for joining us. We've had some really interesting sessions so far, and we have one more after this. So we're really looking forward to learning about what's going on at the Department of Ag these days.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me, everyone. And I I do not assume to know everything about coffee, other than I do enjoy Hawaiian coffee. My husband and I do try and buy, and we rotate among the various 100% coffees in our state. So yeah, we enjoy coffee. In fact, I had a cup this morning, and I think it was from Hamakua. So anyway, we try to explore and experience your industry, and I'll let you know that we quite enjoy it. um, what I wanted to share with you is just a few updates, and there are some slides, and they'll also be available for you for handouts. So I'm going to try and do this. Thank goodness Chris is my backup, so he can come to my rescue. Okay, so if you don't know, the department made a very conscious effort last year in 2019 to bring back statistics reporting in our department. And so as a result of that, we were able to hire additional personnel, economists, and two statisticians. And so as a result of that, we were able to put out some data information the end of last year and the beginning of this year. So I'd like to draw your attention to coffee. Hawaii coffee industry is ranked the second top industry in our state according to our 2018 statistics. Okay. Oops.
You want to go back?
I think this is the one I want. Yeah. Okay. So another thing that we are providing as handouts is data on coffee acreage, yield, production, price, and value. And so Quad Quality Assurance Division highlighted this current season, 2019 and 2020. And you can see how the value in production has increased, and also there was a sizable increase in your price per pound for green beans. We use this data also to file a letter of support for coffee to be recognized by USDA for the Corona Farmer Relief Program. And we use this data in combination with some other specialty crops to appeal to USDA to include coffee for consideration for COVID relief. So this is available to you as a handout. And this was also provided by staff, just giving a history of the grades, the standards. This one was effective 2001, and I'm sure you all know this by memory. At that time, the Hawaii Prime, all the prime grades were given a defect tolerance of 15%. I apologize that this is much reduced, but then in later, and I can't see the date because, let's see. Yes, in effective May 24th, 2014, the defect tolerance was increased to 20% because of the challenges that the industry faced with coffee berry borer. And this is going to be effective July 1st. The defect tolerance will go back to 15% for prime, natural prime. And so these handouts are available for you. I guess, I don't know if Chris, you'll be disseminating it, or if Ala is going to do that.
Yeah, folks, if you look at the top right of your screen, or now on the right side of the screen, there's a menu for handouts. You can download them right there. But if you missed that chance, we'll post these on our website.
Another thing that I wasn't able to submit by your deadline of Monday, but I will send it to Chris after my presentation today. But staff did provide a three fiscal year comparison of how much of the industry was able to meet the 15% defect tolerance. And I will send this to you, but as you can see, it progresses. And so this is the data for 2019 to 2020. And the dark bar is how many of the farms that had their coffee monitored by the department. About let's see, 79% did have prime less than 15% defect. 21% had more than 15% defect, but less than 20. So I will send this to Chris, and he can share this with you. So,
in other words, Phyllis, about, I'm not sure if I heard you right, about 20% of producers who certify their coffee are already meeting the 15% standard?
79%, yes.
Okay, 79%.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Out of the sampling that the department did. So you're all familiar with our staff statewide. We have Randall and Jasmine on the Big Island, Robert on Maui Island, and Jennifer on Kauai.
I think Phyllis, you're back. You locked up for a little while.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So I'll repeat. Our staff that deals with you directly. It's Randall and Jasmine on the Big Island, Robert on Maui, and Jennifer on Kauai. I'd like to also mention that we made some significant improvements with the department for Quality Assurance Division. We hired two new personnel, which is in the Measurement Standards branch, and Measurement Standards branch is charged with the coffee labeling enforcement. So we're trying to rebuild our staff and our capability for coffee labeling enforcement. The first person that we hired early this year is Keith McFall. Um, he is the new Measurement Standards Program Manager. And we also hired a Measurement Standards Inspector that is based in Hilo, and his name is James Kamen. Um, Unfortunately, because of the coronavirus, our staff hasn't been able to get over and meet with the industry. We'll try to have virtual meetings and opportunities to introduce these two new people to you. Um, what our intention is, because they were hired in January and February of this year, uh, that closer to the end of this calendar year, we'll be able to start working. They'll be able to start working with you to establish standards for verification and enforcement. So again, we're very happy that we were able to uh, hire these two new people. Um, And so I know another part of the industry's concerns, talking to staff and also following legislation, bills in this session, has been the subsidy. Uh, right now, our understanding is because of the economic uh, impact of the coronavirus to Hawaii's state budget. I know Representative Lowen was moving to introduce additional funding for the subsidy program, but what we were told was that all appropriations and any requests for new positions in bills would not be considered because the legislature is focused on our economic recovery. Um, so that being said, right now in the subsidy program, we have enough money that the department appropriated out of its cargo fees uh, to carry the subsidy through the fiscal year of 2021. So that we have enough money in there to pay out subsidy reimbursements till next June of 2021. In the event that the legislature in the next session, session 2021, does not appropriate any money for the subsidy, then we are prepared to see if we can assist again with cargo fees. I can't promise that right now because just recently we were told that all of our expenditures, other than federally funded expenditures, are going to be scrutinized for all the executive branch. So, but right now, we still are working with Hawaii County, and I'd like to acknowledge Diane Lay for being a great partner, helping us administer um, the subsidy checks, working very well with our program manager, Melanie Bondera, to get those reimbursements paid. So yes, we believe that we can continue paying it out through the end of the next fiscal year. Um, And again, I think the receipts will be able to be submitted to us until uh, June 30th, 2021. After that, anything dated or purchased after that, currently, the way the statute reads, will not be able to be reimbursed. But Melanie will be on board for additional year into 2022 to finish up collecting applications for reimbursement. And we'll work together with the legislature and see if we can continue to supplement paying that subsidy. So I thought that I'd mention that because I'm sure because of the current economic situation and all the uncertainty that we've been through for the past 2.5 months, it's probably on your minds. And we would like to support the industry, because the defect tolerance is being reduced by 5%, and the importance of you having a subsidy for CBB, I think, will help the industry sustain itself through this transition of going back to a lower tolerance. Um, Talking with our entomologist and in our plant pest control branch, they are working on LFA issues that affect agriculture, and I know that LFA also affects the coffee industry. We're also looking at other pests that they feel are very significant for your industry. Of course, coffee berry borer, LFA, and then I also was informed that a third is in on our radar with our entomologist is the shot hole borers. Another complaint that or request that Stacy Chun did receive was concerns over black twig borer, but for now, I think our pest control staff is concentrating on the three that I mentioned previously. So that's what I have for now, and I'm open to any questions. If I can't answer them, then I'll make sure that I'll circle back through Chris to get your questions answered. And I guess another thing I should mention, after 40 plus years of service with the department, Jerry Kahana retired on December 30th, 2019. I know that she was not only uh, enforcing the industry, but over those years, she developed a lot of professional and personal friendships with your members. So yeah, that was a big change for quality assurance division because Jerry could do everything, right? After 42 years, she wore multiple hats and was very hands-on as an administrator. Right now, we're dealing with the budget. Leo Albaldo, who is the commodity branch manager, is pitching in to help and work with key staff to keep the division going until we can recruit for a new administrator. And if any of you don't know how to get in touch with Leo, I can also provide his email address. And I think that was another big change for quality assurance and commodities.
Thanks, Phyllis. I have a question about measurement standards, and I think it was James was good enough to reach out to us and said under his purview is calibration of scales. I asked him if the department could also uh, be involved with the calibration or at least the checking of moisture meters. We seem to have a lot of variation between moisture meters, and it creates quite a number of problems. Is that something that is possible?
Well, I'll circle back with them. I don't know if James brought it to Leo's Albaldo's attention, but I'll definitely circle back with them about that. Like I said, we have the new personnel, and they're getting adjusted, getting proper training for state rules and regs. And so our intention is to actually get them out into the field, hopefully with the proper safeguards, um, the ending part of the fourth quarter of the calendar year. So, but in the meantime, yes, definitely we can. I'll double check on that. Oh, I forgot to mention something too. I know that when we were going through the board meetings regarding the sunset of the tolerance, the defect tolerance, um, looking back at the old testimonies, the records, and then also during the board meetings, oral testimony. The department previously started with past chair Scott Enright and Jerry Kahana to work with the industry regarding upgrading, amending your grades. And so I didn't forget that. So what we're going to do is the department's looking at what possibilities there are dealing with COVID-19 and the resources that we have to try and start reinitiating, having meetings with the industry to really continue the work that was started, I guess, back in 2017
Yep.
regarding upgrading the standards or the grades. I'm sorry. So yeah, I mean, so that's something that we have on a list of our bucket list of what we would like to do, and just wanted to mention that with you guys.
Yeah, thanks. That was my second question. Um, I have a number of questions from the audience. Um, One is, what is the estimate of the percent of coffee that gets certified, if you know?
Okay. I think it was. I think it was. There's approximately over 1,000 coffee growers that is tracked in the census, and out of that, I think the department certified a little over 300 for certification. So I think that was the last metric that I received from the division. So if we round numbers, maybe a little less than 30% is certified. If you're
Less
if
than 30%.
Yeah, and I believe staff does have information by county, but we can't because of confidentiality of data. Some data is protected because there's just a very small number of operations or growers on certain islands. We can't identify that. So sometimes we have to commingle location to protect confidential information of a business. So yeah, but I think I recall that it was maybe about 30% of the industry coffee is certified, and mostly, no secret to everyone, mostly on the Big Island.
Okay. Um, I have another question from the audience asking about, they know what the average yield per acre is. They were wondering if you know what the range is. I'm not
Um,
trying to put you on the spot, but if you know.
no, I don't. But I can try and ask because you know I don't know how many of you are acquainted with Dr. Matthew Lok. Matthew is our lead economist, and he is very engaged in getting department data now. He has a staff of 3 on the Big Island, and he has a staff of 3 on Oahu. We were trying to get a statistician on Maui, but it's been a challenge to have someone apply that's qualified. But I will look for that information.
Okay. And how's the data collected?
I know that Matthew collaborates with NAS, so USDA's National Ag Statistics Service has staff here in Honolulu. So we collaborate with them. Sometimes previously, with Sharon Hurd, we would pay for surveys. We would enter into a cooperative agreement with NAS and use their personnel to survey industry. Matthew now has staff on board, and so they are also doing data collection and surveys too. But I can also provide his email, and feel free to contact him. I told him that I was going to be speaking before you and providing the data, and he is alerted that he will get further questions.
Okay. And another thing that's been confusing me also, at the outset, you said that coffee was ranked number 2 in the state in terms of crops. And then I saw actually agricultural commodities. And then I saw another statistic that showed that floriculture was a higher value crop than coffee. How is floriculture? Um, is that classified in a different way? Just curious.
Um, Chris, you and I were thinking the same thing when I had a conversation with Matthew Lok about this. And I guess it depends on the format of the survey and how the data is presented. So if you look at the slide that lists coffee as the second highest commodity, if you look at the categories here, you don't have floriculture. You have multiple sectors of nursery and floricultural industry. So you see that you have a landscape plant material, you have orchids separated, you have potted foliage, you have palms, and plant rentals. So, and potted flowering plants. So I guess it depends on how the data is presented, if those various types or forms of the nursery industry and floriculture were combined, aggregated, then yes, definitely it would be higher in value than coffee. But what Matthew shared with me was that this is how NAS reports the agricultural commodities produced in the state, and he was consistent in reporting it according to the way the National Ag Statistics Service reports, and that's why coffee is number 2.
Okay. Thanks for that. I've been getting comments as recently as this afternoon about wanting to revise and simplify the grade standards, and looking forward to that conversation moving forward with you and reaching out to stakeholders. And brings me to a question that's on the screen about the cost of certification. And currently, the certification is done by lot, which can be a deterrent, especially for small lots. And the idea has been raised that perhaps certification could be done on a per pound basis, so that the larger lots folks pay more, and the smaller lots makes it more appealing to smaller producers and would probably encourage certification. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm open to anything that could lead to more coffee operations getting certified. Um, so we're open to it. I guess for this department, the issue has always been since 2009 is how much staff we have available, and to do the work. So definitely always open to it. And what we always try to do here, um, we try our best to do with the resources that we have available to us. So if there's ways for us to improve in our efficiency, you know, we'll try, and we're open to improvement. But definitely we'll check back with Leo and commodities and see what's possible. I think
And
he gave me. I'm sorry. He might have mentioned. We might have discussed that recently, and he did say that um, that in the past, I guess when they did certification, sometimes it took like, and broadly, I didn't get into the details of it, but he said that you know recently they've been able to certify coffee um, in a shorter period of time, but we didn't get into why that is so now. I don't know if it's because of the quality of work that we have from the staff that we have. I know that I've received uh, compliments about the staff that deals with your industry, Randall, Jasmine, Robert, and Jennifer. And Jasmine hasn't been there that long compared to the others, but definitely Robert and Jennifer, yes. So he did say that there was internal improvements on the amount of work that they were able to get done.
great. On a lot of coffee producers' minds is the inadvertent introduction of coffee leaf rust to Hawaii. And I saw, I guess I'm on a mailing list for federal grants, and I saw an RFP for a methyl bromide replacement program. Um, we weren't able to apply, had to be through a university, I believe. Um, so it would appear that methyl bromide is being phased out. And uh, I'm not certain that methyl bromide would kill coffee leaf rust spores in any event. So I wanted to put that on your radar, and see if you had any thoughts about what sort of technologies might prevent the introduction of coffee leaf rust to Hawaii.
Okay, so I'm sure that many of you are acquainted with Darcy Oishi. Darcy is our biocontrol section chief, and he did with our recent meeting. Um, he did mention that you know they are very PPC, or plant pest control biocontrol branch, is very concerned about rust. Um, and he works very closely with APHIS. He works very closely with Vernon Harrington. So coffee rust is always on their minds, and so I'll follow up with him about opportunities to get federal funding and any information on new technologies.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I
thanks.
think I went overtime. Sorry. I don't know who's after.
No. We're happy to have you. Thank you. We're happy to go a little over. So, are there any more questions from the audience? Okay, Phyllis. Well, thanks for spending some time with us.
Okay.
Before I let you go, I want to thank our sponsors again, Savor Brands, Bendig, Lind Insurance Services, and Downtown Coffee. If you like what you see and you'd like to see more of these sessions, please click the donate button. All the webinars will be available on our website, all the videos. And I also want to thank our webinar committee, which is chaired by Ala Kostenko, who's the administrator. The members of that committee are Dave Gridley, Madeline Longoria Garcia, Ross Uihara Tilton, Brittany Horn, Donna Woolley, Maria Holmes, and Abby Munoz. So thank you again, Phyllis,
Thank
and
you.
thank you all for joining us.
Okay.
And our next session is coming up at 3:00, where we have the leader of the USDA Rural Development Program in Hawaii, I believe also in Guam, Brenda Iokopa Moses, who's a good friend to many of us. So thank you again, and we hope to continue the conversation. Aloha.
Be safe, everyone. Take care.